Blow out. Ay, every week we putting numbers on the board, we show out. Ay, all it took was just a bit of patience with the grind. You can never hold it back. Lights, camera, showtime.
In this game already.
Oh yeah.
All right, joining us now on Drive the Lane. Until players were allowed to play 6 and 7 years, the most games played in NCAA history for D1, Ohio State legend David Lighty. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all having me. We've been trying to make this happen. I finally got a little free time. So my bad for that one, but thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, good things come to people who wait. So we're good. We're good. All good on this. I know you're a busy guy. Dave, we just talked about it. I hope we didn't break the news that you, as of like literally yesterday, are not the all-time leader in games played for Division I history. Did you know that? Were you tweeted at? Did you get a call from Jordan Bohannon? I mean, like, what's going on?
I think I need a little call or something, a letter, a little email, just expressing, the gratitude for everything. But yeah, everybody was throwing tweets at me. I'm like, what is this? What is this? But hey, man, longevity. Can't knock that. However things go, however it was now with the rules. Hey, if you're playing, go out there and get it done. That's how I feel.
So we posted a tweet today and said, can anyone guess who's on the show with us tonight? Here's a hint. He played in 2 decades. But some people played in 2 decades, like E.J. Liddell played in 2019, and now he's playing. You played in 2006 and 2011. So my question to you is, can you name every single teammate you had at Ohio State?
Every team?
Every teammate.
Every teammate? Oh, my goodness.
No, I'm just
kidding. That is tough.
You probably do have the record for – I will say, actually, I was going to say you got the record for most teammates, but, like, at the same time, you played with dudes for multiple years, right? So, like, it almost canceled each other out, whereas with me –
yeah, but everybody was leaving, too. I had a lot of one and done.
Well, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, you had the good kind of leaving teammates, whereas with me, I feel like I had 100 teammates, but that was because they were all transferring or being asked to leave or getting kicked off the team or whatever the case may be. So a little bit different dynamic. We both know a thing or two about playing with a bunch of different guys, but before we dive into your OSU career, which we could ask you 100,000 questions about, give the people a quick Dave Lighty update, where you're at, how many years overseas you've been playing, for the people who haven't heard from you since TBT. Give them a quick update.
I see. Well, they say I was in college forever. This is really forever. This is my 11th year now, playing professional overseas for Asvel in Lyon, France. I've been here for 7 years of my career. So I would basically say this is my Ohio State for my pro career, if you could say, and I'll probably end up retiring here. So basically I'm a Frenchman for the last 12 to 15 years of my life, but I played in Italy for 2 years and then just here in France. So it's been amazing, man, and still continue to play and be blessed for the game of basketball to take me all around the world and have the connections. You were just talking about all the teammates. A lot of those guys I still keep in contact with. So it's literally a lifetime brotherhood, coming from Ohio State. So just trying to keep going as long as I can till my body tell me sit down somewhere.
Well, you've had a very successful career over there, a couple MVPs, couple championships. What are the championship numbers up to now? How many have you won?
I like to win, man. If people know me, they know that one. I like to win, but it's strange because here it's like you're playing for 3 or 4 trophies each year. So you got the French League, which is the domestic league I play in. Then with that league, we have the French Cup, which is just a tournament throughout the season. And then we have, it's called the Disney's, the Leader Cup, this Leaders Cup. It's like having the Big Ten tournament, but in the middle of the season. So the top 8 teams, we go to Disneyland in Paris. They set up this big basketball court and you play for a trophy. And then we have our Euro League that we play in. If we win the championship, we get a trophy. So each year I'm possible of winning probably 4 or 5 trophies. So I I want to say like 12 total, something like that. So I've got 4 French championships. So I guess that would be the one to gauge from, since this is the league that I played in the most.
So one thing that I always think that's fascinating about guys who were great college basketball players that go overseas, obviously you have a ton of teammates who are foreign, whether they're from France or from Italy, like you said, in the different countries that you played, but you also play with some of the best guys that you played against in college. And I want to know who your, not necessarily your favorite teammate, but the best player that we would know from being an incredible college basketball player that you've either gone up against or played with overseas.
Oh my goodness, it's so many guys. Literally, I've had teammates. Norris Cole, that's my guy from Ohio. I've known him since high school. Jordan Taylor from Wisconsin, he was my point guard here. It's been so many guys, even going back to my freshman year when we lost to Florida, Torian Green, he was my point guard here as well. So it's crazy. Like you just said, it's too many today to name. I couldn't just name one. It would be too hard for sure.
Do you ever play with someone, and you might not be doing this anymore, maybe it's changed to comparing to, you know, early on in your professional career, but when you were first starting out playing, was there anyone that you were like, man, this guy plays a lot like this guy that I played with at Ohio State, or I really feel like I have good chemistry with this guy because he does this, which I got to do at Ohio State?
Oh, for sure. I mean, those have been the teams where you've been the most successful because you fit. You know, that's what I've been lucky with being here. I found a team that lets me play my game, and I fit their system. And it's like new guys come and go here and there, but we all try to fit that puzzle each year. So for sure, I've been taking that every year since I've been playing.
Well, obviously we're excited about your pro career. You know, you say you're going to retire soon, but that's knowing you, that's probably not true. But we got to talk Ohio State. Obviously, that's why we're here. We'll
win.
No, exactly. And we'll talk about the current team. We'll get to it, but we got to talk about your time at Ohio State, as long as it was and as great as it was. And we'll start at the beginning. What do you remember about your early years, getting recruited by Ohio State, coming to Ohio State, those first few months on campus, all that fun stuff?
Oh my goodness, you're taking it back.
2000,
2003. That's a long time ago. Coach John Gross coming to watch me play football games when I was in high school, wanted me to play. But they were at Xavier then. That's the crazy part. So Coach Mata and him were always down at my high school at St. Joe's. And I basically knew everyone on the football team at Ohio State that was coming from Glenville, because that's where I grew up basically. And then Greg and Mike and Daquan came into the picture. We all played in the All-Star games, and then AAU growing up. Went down to a football game, and it was over. Like they took my heart after that. I mean, I already loved Ohio State, but they really reeled me in with that one. So going back to that year, literally to make it to a national championship as a freshman, I was kind of spoiled. And just to be a part of it, you know, actually contribute to wins and things like that, it was kind of like what set the standard in my mind for Ohio State, the basketball basically, and trying to get us to a level that we felt we were capable of. And everyone left after that. So the next year was an eye-opener. We had a little struggle my sophomore year, but we ended up strong, ended up winning the NIT. So I think we kind of used that momentum to kickstart everything. We got in the gym that summer, and everybody just worked. Every guy that came in was basically on board, and, you know, guys basically became a family. And I think after that, it just showed on the basketball court. And till this day now, as you can see with the TBT, we really did become a family. And I think from, my sophomore year until my senior year, we had that core of myself, Dallas Lauderdale, Evan, John Diebler, William Buford, and then a lot of guys coming in and out, of course, and then Kraft and Sully at the end. I think we kind of underachieved a little bit. We had a couple slip ups in the tournament, but that's the beauty of college basketball, man. You got to earn it. looking back on things for sure, I wish we could have had maybe 2 more Final Fours that we could have reeled in. But I loved every bit of it, man. And I am a Buckeye at heart for always.
I would ask you to pick a favorite game, but you've played in a lot of those that might be tough. But do you have a year that you were like, all right, this was my favorite year? Like we did this, and that. We got this far. We won this.
Oh my goodness. That's funny. That one of my favorite years would probably be the year I got hurt, actually, and I didn't even play. But just on and off the court, the guys, the experiences and everything that we did, and so many different moments that we had. So I think that was 2008, 2009. I think that was that year that I broke my foot. That just to kind of like sit back, enjoy college and enjoy basketball and watching my guys grow and all of us becoming, better. I think that was probably one of the best years for me. Even though we didn't even win that much. We got kicked in the mouth a couple times, but it made us that much hungry.
I was going to say, it must be nice when you're injured on the bench and you know that in a tough loss, you don't have to wake up the next day and run and practice. And you're like, you know what? Like, man, this is a great learning experience. Like, it's just.
Yeah, I got to see from the other side, so for sure. Definitely.
No, I think one thing that is a common theme with you, because we've had Diebler on, we've had ET on, we've had Sully on, and we always ask the questions about your favorite years and your favorite teammates and guys that you still talk to and all that fun stuff. And your name is always brought up more often than not first, really, especially with ET. And obviously that's because you're a great teammate and you also were a leader for so many different years. And my question surrounding that is kind of, why you? Like, what's your makeup that makes everyone gravitate towards you and makes the coaches love you so much? And why David Lighty?
That's a great question. I've really never been asked that question. I don't know. I mean, I think it's my outlook on things, my attitude, my upbeatness, my optimism. I'm very optimistic. I'm always thinking of a better thing or thinking of things could be worse or something like that. That's always me. I'm on the bright side. I don't do bad days, is what Coach Mata would say. So I think I kind of took on that mentality of just living life, man, being free, go out, work hard. We got to enjoy it while we can. And I think I take that in all aspects of life for me. And I don't know, they just gives off good vibes, I want to say. And just have great connections with a lot of guys, man. It's been crazy. The when you look back over the years, like you just said, all the way back to 2003, that I was meeting guys like Mike and Greg and Daquan, to still have the same friendship and thing like that is, I think that's a great thing in this time and day and age.
As Joey mentioned, you are in everybody's version of this, but if you're making your starting 5 out of your teammates, obviously you're putting yourself in it. Who are the other 4? Who are you surrounding yourself?
Oh no, I can't put myself in it. We got too many good players, man.
That's fine. You can be coming off the bench. You got a foot injury, so you're out.
I could come off the bench or be a player coach or something like that, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's so many players. It's so many players.
Hey, we need a 5 out of you. You, however you want to do it.
Starting 5. Greg at the 5. Sully at the 4.
That team right there is pretty good already.
ET at 3, like point forward-ish. Dag, it's tough. Willie Buford at the 2. Then the 1 is Chris. What do I do? Where do I go?
You got so many options.
Mike Conley at the 1.
You really do have. You, Dave Lighty, have the best era of Ohio State basketball. You know what I mean? Like, you touch. We had Sam on last week, and Sam touched, D'Angelo Russell and Sully. Like those 2 eras. But like, you've got Greg Oden.
I was saying, like, literally, we were literally like the beginning of trying to bring it back to the old days of Havlicek and those guys. So For sure. I mean, I think it's 8 first-round draft picks I was in school with in 5 years, so that's already spread around here to there.
It's insane because like there are guys that we don't even talk about, even as like Ohio State fans, you know, guys like Costa Kufos, right? Like, I mean, just guys.
Go DJ Mullins again right there. So,
exactly. Like guys that we don't talk about that were first round draft picks, and you still make these starting fives and you don't even consider the 7-foot freak of nature. Like it's pretty remarkable. People don't talk about Ohio State enough in terms of like great college basketball program.
You can go back to freshman year. Ron Lewis was a leading scorer in the NCAA tournament. Like it's so many players to toss in and out of that mix. It's tough for sure.
Do you know my Ron Lewis story? Have I ever told you my
No.
We've told it on the podcast before. It's so embarrassing and so funny for other people to hear, but this was going into my senior year at Ohio State or going into my junior year, I'm sorry, with the new staff. And like, I'm out there trying to prove myself, right? Like this staff doesn't know me. There's a ton of playing time open and I'm a good college basketball player. They bring in Andrew Dockich. I'm like, well, I'm better than him. Like I should get an opportunity to play. So, and we're playing open gym in the summer and the coaches are watching, of course. And obviously the old guys are there as well. And that's who we're playing with. That's who we're playing against. There's 2 courts going, the whole deal.
The good old days.
Right, but that's me now, so I can't. But the walk-ons, obviously, we're always the first guy that is off, and that's fine. Like I'm always a team guy. Like I'm not like the freshmen that come in should get time versus me. But when there are guys that I don't know who they are that like ET is bringing in or whoever, that's where I'm like, that's where I'm like, all right, bro. Like, I want to be on the court and play with my teammates. Like, I'm not here sitting on the sideline shooting free throws. Anyway, this guy is out there and he's playing a ton, and I'm sitting on the side and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Like,
went up to Ron Lewis?
No, I didn't go up to him. But then he turns around and walks off the court, and I'm like, fuck, that's Ron Lewis. And I just am talking all this shit. And
you didn't. Okay, I got you.
Not to him. He probably heard me. But not to him. And I was just frustrated. I'm not a mean guy. I don't have an ego. Like and now I go to a game and Ron was sitting next to me and Andrew at the Duke game, and like we're cool. Like he probably doesn't even remember me. So it's funny, but it's just unbelievable. I was like, oh, that guy just made arguably the biggest shot in Ohio State history, and I'm telling him to get off the court.
It saved our lives for sure. Yeah. Definitely.
I guess that's a good segue. That's like one of the greatest college basketball games of my memory growing up an Ohio State fan. What do you remember about that game? What do you remember? I don't care if it was something that Gio told you, if something Coach Mata told you. What do you remember about that game?
I remember us just when Gio got in foul trouble, everybody was just in shock and all on the bench. And myself, I'm always optimistic. Like, we got it. We good. We about to win this. I don't know. For some reason, I just felt like we still was going to win. And then that's when Mike started going crazy and basically got us back in the game with Greg at the end. And then the shot happened, basically. They missed the free throw because if they make it, it's over. We have no chance. And then we came down. Coach put all the shooters in, and Ron Lou got the pitch up from Mike, basically finding them. As you can see, Ron was running to the ball like he was ready for it. And if anybody knows Lou, that's him. He says, F it, that's him. That's just Ron Lewis. And he made the shot, and it was over after that. If you can watch the video, I'm on the sidelines going crazy, probably like a 45-inch vertical up and down. So excited.
I was gonna say, do you go back? Because I know I do, but like I didn't play in these games. I go back, like if I can't sleep at night, I'm like, let me look up us beating Kentucky from my freshman year and watch the highlight. Do you do that stuff?
I should. I haven't. Really, probably the last thing I watched, sadly, was my last college game. That's probably the last that I watched. And that was randomly because I think Dallas was talking to me about it. This was probably some years ago. That's probably the last time I watched it. But I definitely need to do that. I think I got a whole case of DVDs, but like I don't even know how to use it. I got to find a DVD player and stuff now.
It's worth it. I'll be sitting in my room 2:00 in the morning getting all nervous and sweaty because I'm not sure if we're gonna beat Purdue on the road when I know it already happened and we won. You know, like it's worth it though. Like it makes me feel like I'm like, dang, I can't wait for practice tomorrow. And I'm like, oh wait,
I'm gonna find the tapes and stuff. I gotta show my son, let him know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There we go. That's a perfect one.
Speaking of your son, that's another good segue. You're basically a pro. You know, we talked about
I got connections.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about D Russ for a second there. You had the greatest social media clip that I've seen in a while when D'Angelo gave your son a pair of shoes at the game the other night. You want to give us the background on that? Because that's an unbelievable story and picture. It went everywhere. It was all over Twitter.
Yeah. He said, my son says he's famous now. So shout out to my boy Maurice, man. That's my guy. But no, I was up there with him since I was home with my injury. And then I'm just getting ready to come back. So I'm like, you want to go to a game? And actually the team that they were playing against, OKC, one of my old teammates from France, Teo Melodon, he was there. So I'm like, I'm going to come to the game and watch you play. And then one of the assistants on the team as well was assisting for me out here in France. So I talked to ET earlier in the day, and I told him that I was going to the game. And then we basically got me in touch with D Russ, and he was like, yeah, I'll hook it up, no problem, basically. And he got his brother basically got us the tickets and stuff, and we went down to the game. Then afterwards, Reese was going crazy. I didn't know he was going to give him the shoes, but he, walked up to him and stuff and gave them to him. So it was great, man. That's about definitely Buckeye love to him. Always grateful for Buckeye Nation and the brotherhood that we have. But he basically made my boy's day. So he tried to wear him to school the next day. So I think he was a little excited.
Another player I want to talk about that you played with, Greg Oden. He, from what we can see, and Joey was around him a lot, obviously, he is a goofy guy. So I'm wondering if you got any good Greg Oden stories that maybe haven't hit the airwaves yet.
Stories for days. Boy, I'll sell a book at Ohio State. It'll be
Well, give us one. Give us the epilogue of that book.
Years, man. I got many years. But Greg is a shy, reserved guy from afar. Once he's comfortable with people and he knows you, he's one of the most down-to-earth, happy, and silliest guys ever. So I love that guy, man. He's a real one. But it's too many stories, like from people chasing him around on campus to him talking about he don't know how to talk to girls freshman year. There's so many stories, man. But through them all, Gio has been nothing but a great person on the court and off the court. And like I said, the brotherhood and friendship that we have is a lifetime for that one.
So follow-up question to that. I got caught in the trap of, if I was out getting dinner with like Kada, people would come up to Kada, ask for pictures, whatever, and I would end up taking the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever take pictures for Gio and Mike and all these people being like, oh, yo,
this was before phones, right?
Hey, no, this was a sidekick stage. So like the social media was just beginning. This is true. It's crazy you say that. Because I had a sidekick and then everybody had like a razor. So we just started taking pictures. It was terrible definition. Couldn't see nothing. But for sure, like we would literally be walking to class and people would be following Greg on campus, having them sign stuff. Like literally my whole freshman year, we couldn't talk to media because so many people wanted to talk to Greg and our Thad 5 group that we had coming
in. Too funny. I mean, obviously that guy, like even when I was in school, obviously he was taking classes again. So like I would see him crossing the oval or going to class, or whatever, thinking it's the funniest thing ever. And he's still getting mobbed. I mean, like probably even more so now. Cause like everyone knows that Greg Oden's coming back and like, it sticks out. Like it's Gio. Like,
for sure. Greg was a rock star. Greg was a rock star, literally. From I'll say this, from Greg's first month in college, when us talking about he doesn't know how to talk to girls, to our last months before they went to the drafts and stuff, he walks into places literally walks here, walks back. It's 40 million people following him. Like, he can't go anywhere and be by himself or just enjoy his time when he was at the end of campus, at the end of his time.
It's unreal. I guess the other guy that's kind of missing from that team, he's like the sixth of the Thad Five, is Mark Titus. And
yeah, Mark came on late.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, you had as much time as anyone with Mark, so you got to have all the Titus stories.
Oh my goodness, man! It's a whole bunch of Titus stories. I call him Lil Will Ferrell. That's a great guy though. Mark, Mark the Shark and the Villain. They had some stories for days for sure. I mean, he put some stuff in the book too. Shout out to him for showing me love in the book as well. Put me in, coach. If anybody hasn't read it, go do that one. And then for him, and then my guy DJP down in Xavier. Shout out to DJP, Danny Joe. Those three guys had some stories. They was always going at it.
Unreal.
So,
sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
No, I was going to ask a non-Titus thing. So were you sticking with Titus?
Well, I was just going to say the greatest Titus story that I ever heard was from Coach Rich, where Titus came back from the Indy 500 and was so sunburned that he could not lift or play basketball. And Coach Rich said, he said, Titus, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, get over there and bench press. And Titus,
he literally moved, his skin he was like this.
Yeah, he took off his shirt and showed Coach Rich, and Coach Rich was like, all right, never mind, you're good.
I say I was there when he jumped in Mirror Lake freshman year. Oh my, crazy. If somebody has that picture, he has a thong on and a mullet, I think. That Titus for you sums it up.
Oh man.
So my last question about, kind of pre David Lighty of today and what's going on with the team now. So in today's day, people wear number 23 because of MJ. They wear it because of LeBron. They wear it because Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. Like, there's a lot more 23s now. So I'm curious why you wore number 23. And I have a follow-up to it.
Oh, for me, it was growing up was MJ for sure. It was MJ. That was my, oh my goodness, the one. He was the one. But then it was other numbers that I couldn't get though, that I wore 23 in college. My first number ever was 23, of course. I literally, in like fourth grade, we had to draw on the back of white t-shirts, and I used to make my jerseys out of t-shirts and cut them and stuff, and I had 23 Lighty and all that drawn up on it. But then Iverson was my second favorite after that, so I got number 3. And then in high school, they gave me 35. I don't know why. He just gave me 35, and I just stuck with 35. I mean, I was a freshman coming in, and I ended up playing varsity and doing pretty good. So they gave me 35, and then I stuck with it. But Larry Brad has his number retired, so I couldn't wear 35 in college. So I ended up choosing 23 because Ivan Harris had number 3.
So my follow-up to that was, do you feel disrespected? Because Zed Key's dealing with it now. Do you feel disrespected that there's like a 23 James jersey, but like you're the Ohio State 23?
You know what's the funny thing? Somebody literally texted me a jersey literally last week with James on the back of it. It's like the dark gray ones that they have. I guess they're selling them in the shop. He said, it should say your name, but I guess. But I mean, come on, that's Bron, man. That's a tough one. That's Bron. I mean,
well, what's your relationship with him?
Jersey,
right?
Yeah. So it's like, ain't much you can do about that one.
What did Zed have to call you or text you to be like, hey man, let me wear 23? Is that cool with you? Because I don't even remember another 23 like when I was in school.
Nah, he had Amir. Amir was 23 or 32.
Right. 23.
I don't know how all the big guys got 23. I don't know where that one came from.
I think Amir was 23 because of how much he played like MJ.
That's probably so. But yeah, It's up for grabs now, basically. Anybody can get it, man. Just go out and work hard and represent the number right is all I can say. Just go out and getting wins for us. That's all that matters for me.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Zed represents that number, as well as anybody could. Talk about a fan favorite and favorite teammate. I guarantee when we're interviewing EJ Liddell in 7 years, he's gonna be like, Zed Key was my favorite teammate.
For sure, that's gonna be all of them. They say he does it all.
Right, 100%. How obviously the fact that you were home helps. How much are you able typically to keep up with the Ohio State teams during the season? Obviously, time changes and time zones make it difficult. But how locked in are you to Ohio State hoops since you've left school?
Oh, for sure. I've been locked in ever since I left, always keeping in touch, and then being back in the summer times, working out in Columbus, and being with the guys as well. You just build a relationship with the team, and year after year is basically what happens. And, knowing guys on the team still to this day, literally watch the game. Like I said, shout out to Jake Diebler getting his first win. But it's every year, man. That's a given. I'm going to be following the team and interacting and making sure the guys are doing right. Like you said, that's a brotherhood for lifetime.
So when you watch this team now, what do you think some of the things that make them click are? And then on the other end, when you watch the team, you said you've been back in the States a little bit, so you've had some time to watch, I assume. Start with the good things, but what are some things you're like, man, if only they could do this, or if only they could do that?
Well, it's crazy because the game is so different now. Oh my goodness. From when we played or when I played in the Big Ten and going, dang on 15 years. Oh, well, so it was literally like you're playing Wisconsin all the time, except for when we played Michigan State. They were literally the only probably other team who was trying to get up and down. But the team, the explosiveness that they have, like they started the other day versus Northwestern, like that, you see the flashes of that and you want the consistency of it. But then you look and guys are still young, guys are still new. They still haven't built the chemistry, So month after month, I think you can see it getting better and better. But then the COVID stuff happens. That takes a lot out of you and trying to find a rhythm again. So, you commend the guys. You can see that it's there. But only thing for me, bad, I should say, or negative, I should say, is up and down too much. I think it's up and down too much. Like we get up 15 or 10 or something, then we take our foot off the gas a little bit and let teams get back comfortable into it. So, that's just a learning curve, though. So we'll see, how it goes the rest of the season.
You obviously were the guy that was more often than not guarding the other team's best player. And the reason why I say it is because defense is clearly the struggle for this team. They scored 95 points or whatever against Northwestern. That should win you every game by 20 points, right? If you're playing hard on defense. If you had to tell Holtman and Diebler, who is the defensive coordinator, so to speak, for Ohio State, if you had to give them one thing for defense that you took as, your hallmark for the defensive end, what would you tell them?
Oh, it's cliche, but it's the details. It's the little things. And at the end of the day, we're kind of undersized. We kind of play small ball. So the rebounding as well, but that goes to being fundamental and doing the essentials. Like those are non-negotiables. Those are a given. When you're on the court, you got to box out. Is not letting your man go left when we basically told you all week, he's going to try to go left type of thing. Those things have to be consistent throughout the game, the 40 minutes. We used to call them 4-minute wars. That's what you want to do, have those little games within the game and win each war. And you're not playing against what the score is. You're playing against yourselves, trying to get better for later on, down in the season. That's what was our mentality, I should say, when we played.
So, I just had a good question, but it just left my mind. Let me see if I can get it back. All right, I got it. All right, I got it. What's your go-to, like, hey, back when I was at Ohio State, we had to do this. You guys don't have it bad at all.
Oh my goodness, it's too many. they living life down there, man. Oh my gosh. We say we kind of paved the way because I wasn't even there for the new gym. So we didn't even get to experience that. So we were like, oh, you guys are welcome type of thing.
Oh, I mean, I say stuff like the Coach Rich stuff, like the circuits and the 5 miles at 5 a.m, all that stuff. But like for me, I don't even count because like it's just so different. But we could go on and on about that stuff. Andrew, you got anything else?
Everything is different now.
Literally everything. I mean, we can even, NIL. Like, come on, like,
yeah.
$1 billion.
What they're allowed to do, what they get, how they living, all of it. Like Coach Mata made us stay in the dorms. Like, hey, we had it here. You were locked in.
I have one last question. My last question: in all your years of playing, have you ever missed a free throw on purpose because you saw that your sub was at the scorer's table and you would have been subbed out if you made the free throw?
Ask Evan, he's gonna say because I always miss free throws in college. Like it's either I made them all or I missed them all. So for me, no, I didn't do that one. After freshman year, shoot, I played probably 37 minutes a game. So it was time for me to go sit down. I was probably tired, so it was time to rest.
All right, my last question. One guy that you never got to play with, who came after you at Ohio State, that you wish you had a chance to play with, who would it be?
Oh man,
you can't say me.
That came after me that I didn't get to play with. I mean, I guess you could say D. Russ. Either
easy answer.
I'd say D. Russ or Jay Sean. Because I think how he played would have fit with our system type.
Definitely.
So I would say him.
I just thought of one more question. It's more of an idea though. All right, last one. So I think it would be too hard to like retire a player from your era. Like you can't really retire Buford's number and not retire your number. Like you would say Kraft and Sully, but then it's like, hey, Conley's been in the NBA for 10 plus years. Like how are you not going to retire his number?
Just make a honor ring basically, and just put the number with it, like you were.
And it's the guys from your freshman year to. We'll cut off it at like Deshaun Thomas. And you put it up there, and people can wear those numbers, but it's like, hey, you better be as good as those guys up there.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you. It was so many to come through there at that time, like you said. So for sure, I definitely understand that. I think I've seen football teams or somebody do that before. Not really sure what it's not retired, like you said, but like a honor or something like that type of thing. Mm-hmm. But that definitely would be dope.
I love the idea of the Ring of Honor. That's genius. That's something like I'm going to bring up, honestly. Like I think that's such.
Give me credit.
Yeah, I will. Andrew, trust me, they know you over there now. They'll know it came from you.
After Dave, like a losing streak, they'll do it. Like they lose a few games, it's like, all right, we got to get Lighty back in the building, like get the crowd hyped up.
I got you. That's true. That sounds dope. That's perfect.
I think it's a great idea. Dave, before we let you go, we end every interview the same way on the show, and we basically just flip the tables, turn the tables on you, give you the mic, and let you ask any questions that you've been dying to ask us since this interview started.
This is a good one. I would with the greatest moment off the court in Ohio State history for you, I guess I would say.
Well, that's every moment for me.
Yeah.
My moments have been off the court.
Great question. I two different things. I would say going to the NCAA tournament, just that trip it was just insane. My first year, we were followed by cameras. We were given tours of our hotel room. We were, after we won the game, we stayed up and watched all the games with the coaches, like all of us together watching all the games. Like that was just a blast. I think beyond that, like going to the PK80 tournament was really, really cool, where we got to, tour Nike's campus and meet Phil Knight and all that stuff. Doing our foreign trip. Yeah, unreal. Doing the foreign trip where.
Oh, my foreign trip was amazing. We went to
unreal.
Canada, but it was amazing still.
Yeah, we went to Spain and it was just ridiculous and just so much fun. One specific moment, which I think is a little bit unique, like a unique way to answer this question, is obviously a lot of the stuff that I did was different than, say, a K Debates Diop or Jay Sean Tate or EJ Liddell. The list goes on and on, right? Like I was the off the court guy. So we had a huge game against Iowa at home my senior year. One of the last home games, not senior night, one of the last home games, and a game that if we won, Iowa was ranked. If we won, it basically all but cemented us in the NCAA tournament. And it was the game where Justin had 30 as a freshman, which was insane. But what I did was I went to the creative team at Ohio State and I said, hey, I have an idea for a pump up video. Can we make it? And they were like, absolutely. So we shot this video of me like walking from the locker room, like past the training room, past the hockey locker room, all the way out to center court, and like giving this monologue about like how important Ohio State is to us and how important the fans are and blah, blah, blah. And it just went nuts. And the stadium was like sold out and we won the game. And like, obviously I'm going to just sit here and say it was all because of me making that video.
It was.
But it was just like the perfect embodiment of my 4 years, like everything that I wanted to do and create this like brand for myself while also working my ass off playing basketball. It like all was capped by that moment, and it worked out perfectly, and my teammates loved it, and it was just like we just goof about it. We talk about it to this day. Like it's just such a funny video, and I think that's like the most specific thing I could think of, like off the court funny stuff. That's up there. I mean, it's just beyond the teammate stuff. That's what I remember about Ohio State is like being asked to make all these crazy videos all the time to get students to come to games and stuff.
That's the memory stuff that you don't get back, that you got to make last for sure.
No doubt. You got anything else for us? It's all right if you don't. We don't. It's
that's a tough question. Tough question. I'll say experience. Who your first time meeting one of those guys that kind of was like your, oh my gosh, that's him moment at Ohio State.
I remember
basketball, football, anybody, it doesn't matter.
I remember meeting Urban Meyer the summer going into my freshman year. That was insane. I remember
we had him on the show.
We had him on the show, like talk about full circle. It's hilarious. But beyond that, I do remember going on my first recruiting trip, and I was not recruited in the same way that you were. Coach Motto was not coming to my baseball games when I was in high school. But Coach Sparts was recruiting me, and he wasn't even an assistant coach, right? So a little bit different. But I came to practice and meeting all the coaches for the first time as a freshman as a senior in high school. And growing up like being obsessed with guys like Greg Paulus and Coach Mata and all these guys and worshiping, like, Sam Thompson's on the court and I'm from Chicago and all these guys. Like that experience being at practice for the first time was insane. And meeting Coach Mata and him like saying, Joey, it's great to see you, before I could even say my name, I was like, what is going on? Like, this is insanity. So that's for me. Andrew has even better moments because bringing him onto this podcast and having all these guys come on the show and him meeting them in person, he has 100 of them. And I think I know Andrew's answer.
Oh, who's the top one?
Well, I have an answer that predates the podcast. Do you remember when the Big Ten tournament used to be in Chicago?
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So one time Sully, I was like the biggest Jared Sullinger fan because I was a little thick. I've said this exact speech many times. But I was a little thick, so I kind of like it was a role model, you know.
I got you.
And I see him from across the United Center. I'm at the Big Ten tournament. I'm like, see the section, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm going and I'm getting a picture with him and I'm saying what's up. And I like walked all the way around the arena and I went down. I was like, Sully. And he was like, waved me down. And the person at the United Center was like, whoa, 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 you can't go down there. And he was like, no, he's with me. And she was like,
they was
right.
hating. Oh, if he can let you through. Okay.
He was like, all right, go ahead. And I took a picture with him. That was my first experience. And that was like 15 years ago or whatever it was. But then on the show, Joey, I don't really I mean, all those guys in person were crazy. TBT, the year you guys won, we were like in the lobby with all you guys.
That was everybody came up too, literally.
That day was crazy when I was just like hanging with everyone in the lobby. So I'd say that day.
I got you.
We were going over to interview Kraft, Diebler, and Sullinger all separately for the show. And Andrew, being the Sully fan that he was texting me all day. He's like, hey man, like what, you know, I'm all nervous. I'm this, I'm that, clearly visibly nervous, but he was fine, you know, but you know, he showed up wearing a polo and like, he's looking all official. He was so nervous. And it's just funny to look back. Cause now when Andrew sees Sully, they're like best friends. But before it was like, it's very fun.
Nothing like that though, man. Definitely. I understand.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, we appreciate you, man. This was awesome. This was incredible. I'll make sure to send you all the links and stuff so you got them. And
no, man, like you said, we've been trying to do this. So
one more thing.
Yeah, no problem.
One more thing. So I told you we posted on Twitter today, and we said, all right, Buckeye fans, if you can guess who we're having on tonight, he'll give you a shout out. So this guy, Stefan or Stefan at Steph_24 guessed it. So will you say, hey, at Steph_24, congrats on guessing that I was on the show.
At Steph_24. Congrats, you guessed it right. Me, the Lighty, the one and only. Congrats, man.
Unreal. Perfect, man. Well, we appreciate you. You're the man. We'll do this again sometime soon.
No, thank y'all. Definitely had a good time too, man.
Absolutely. Get healthy. Good luck the rest of the year. And we'll be in touch.
See this last go around for TBT, man.
All right, we're holding you to that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. We need some revenge.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right, y'all. All right.
Bye.